Welcome to the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight, where we introduce local businesses to the community and the world at large. Hi, my name is Alan Cohen. I'm on the board of directors for the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you these community leaders. Today, we have two people from the HVA Medical Group, Comprehensive Compassionate Care. The HVA Medical Group is a dedicated team comprised of outstanding physicians in a wide range of medical specialties, primary care, and key ancillary services located throughout the northern New Jersey, in Bergen County, Passaic, and Morris counties. Today's guest is Melissa Wolf, marketing specialist, and Terry Ergo, senior director of HVA Medical Group. Melissa, Terry, welcome today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure to have both of you. And we also have an extra special guest, which is Michael Leahy, who's the clinical director of the Sleep Center, which he'll tell you about. Melissa or Terry, would you, whoever would like to go, tell us a little bit about the HVA Medical Group?
So I'll start, if that's okay. So HVA Medical Group has been in Fair Lawn since 2001. Started in 1995. Grew from a single practitioner, Dr. Mahesh Bakina, who is our president, and grew into to be in the fall 30 offices throughout the 3 counties, 17 specialties that we have now. We started as cardiology, and now we have 17 specialties. And the primary purpose for our practice is to give the best health care to our patients. And part of my job is to make sure that happens, to expedite everything for the physicians and the providers, and give the best care we can to the patients who do come to us. We have 89 doctors right now. We have a hospitalist group. We have cardiologists, oncology, hematology, podiatry, endocrinology. Hepatology. And we also have pulmonology and obviously sleep medicine. We have vascular studies that we do that we have experts in. Our doctors are very well educated and very patient oriented. And my job is to make sure that the patients are satisfied, the doctors work well, and everything. We just opened a new office in Fair Lawn, another new extension to our very large building. You may have driven by on Broadway and seen it. We're very excited about it. And that's my beginning introduction.
That's terrific. That's quite impressive. From 2001, you open up with the one doctor who's the head of it, and now you have 89 doctors.
Yes, and counting. We will have a few more by the fall. Yeah,
that's quite an expansion. What is it? 10 years, 11 years. That's really quite incredible.
Yes. We're on our toes at all times.
It's taking care of 89 people. Now, you did mention that you expanded somewhat. You're on Broadway. I only know the building. Which building is that?
2218 Broadway. That was the old highway highway movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
And Dr. Bakina purchased that movie theater in... we moved into it in 2011, so probably 2009, and then it was converted with our architect and builder to a medical office building, which we've been in since 2011. And then this past year, we built an extension to that building with a bridge across. It's 2202 Broadway. It has the Fair Lawn Imaging Center, and that's part of Englewood Health. And the big sign just went up there last weekend on the front of that building that shows what it is. And then we have our specialties there, and we have some primary care there as well. So it's fully open now, effective last Monday, totally full.
That's
So
really.
drive by. It's beautiful.
I actually know the building. I am one of my doctors, the cardiology, also is in there. So you also rent out the building to these other medical centers, also.
Yeah, well, we have all of our own practices in the buildings, but also there is a Fairlawn Imaging Center. It's called Englewood Health at Fairlawn, Englewood Health Imaging at Fairlawn. You can see the sign, and that is an Englewood Health facility, and to really serve the local community and everyone here.
Yeah, that's incredible. So really, it is a one-stop shop.
It is.
All your medical needs, it seems. I didn't realize also when I first looked on here that you also have general practitioners, also like general physicians.
Yes, we have internal medicine. We have family practice. Yes.
Great. And what about for children? Do you also?
Well, our family practices, we have one in Wayne, we have one in Ramsey. They see children, the Wayne practice on 1500 Alps Road, but they will see babies. In Ramsey, they see from 5 years up.
Wow, incredible. Really very impressive. Really that it did start with the one doctor. Could you mention his name again, if you don't mind?
Sure, happy to do that. Dr. Mahesh Bakina. He's a visionary and a wonderful cardiologist. He does interventional cardiology as well. And he is the president of HVA Medical Group.
Great. That's very nice to hear. Thank you very much. If you don't mind me, let me introduce Melissa to everyone. Hi, Melissa. And I understand you're the marketing specialist for HVA Medical Group. Could you tell us a little about what you do there?
Yes, I am. I've been working with Terry and Dr. Bakina and Mike as well as other department heads to basically promote the practice and let people know what physicians we have here, what specialties. All of the physicians are so high qualified, published physicians that are so personable and approachable. And I just feel like everybody should know who they are. So that's what our goal is as we acquire locations and new physicians. Our goal is to just let everyone know the great services and physicians that are here.
That's great. So as marketing specialist, what angle do you market yourself at? Just to the general public, or do you, focus? How do you focus in on the medical marketing specialist?
Well, the goal, as Terry mentioned, Dr. Bakina is first a physician. So he is very patient oriented and brings in physicians and physician assistants and nurse practitioners that feel the same way. So many physicians that have joined the practice have longstanding roots in their communities. As Terry mentioned, we're in 3 counties and the primary care base is very strong, and they've chosen to join HVA Medical Group partially because of the specialists that we do offer. So our goal is in each community is to meet the needs at that community level. So the people in Woodland Park, we communicate with them, and we'll communicate with the people in Patterson. We'll communicate with Fairlawn. Like, we really work hard to meet the community where they are and to let them know how the services here can be accessed very easily. And as Terry mentioned, patient satisfaction is one of our number one goals. So we always want to have happy, satisfied patients that come in and tell their family and friends.
That's great. Now, you just mentioned also that you are in these other counties as well. So was this the first place that the doctor opened, or did he come from the other places that then opened here? You're in Bergen, Passaic, and also Morris County.
Dr. Bakina started his practice in Patterson. So that would be Passaic County. And then he moved subsequently to Fairlawn.
Is it a big practice in those other counties as well, as large as this?
We have, well, not as large as these buildings that we have in Fairlawn. This is our main hub. Fairlawn is the main hub for HVA Medical Group. But we do have very large sites in Woodland Park. We're doing some expansion there right now. We offer a lot of services. We have primary care, we have internal medicine there, we have cardiology there, and our specialists also go there into those offices on certain days. We have a very large facility in Wayne. We have an entire building there. Pompton Plains also is a very big hub for us, but we have offices in Patterson, Clifton, West Milford. We go to West Milford, and I mentioned Ramsey. So we're in a lot of towns, and we do have large offices in each of those places.
That's terrific. Very good. I like to also now bring in Michael. Michael Leahy is the clinical director of the sleep study. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do there, Michael?
Sure, Alan. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So the Comprehensive Sleep Center is based in Fair Lawn, right on Broadway, in the Broadway Medical Building. We're happy to have been here for over 10 years now. And we're an accredited sleep disorder center. And basically, we treat all types of sleep disorders. Before the pandemic, there was 1 in 4 people had a sleep disorder. So it is pretty prevalent. Since the pandemic, that number has increased to at least 40% in the general population. So a lot of people are having sleep disorders since the pandemic. It's even gotten names to it. They're calling it COVID-somnia and coronasomnia. So there's actually these terms now that refer to it. So we're here to serve the community in any way they have, as far as they're having trouble sleeping, trouble staying asleep, sleep apnea, which is where you pause your breathing at night and sleep. But we treat all sleep disorders here.
That's incredible. What you just said about that these disorders are also coming from COVID. Obviously, that's on everybody's mind. We're slowly getting out of it. Thank goodness, things are changing. So what is it, from the anxiety that people are having from it, or from being home so much, or losing their jobs, everything associated with COVID?
You've named it, Alan. It's everything, actually. It's everything you've mentioned and more. We're seeing this also in patients who have had COVID, and also in patients who haven't had COVID. So we're seeing it across the whole general population.
And that much different than the other, I guess, causes of sleep disorders. Is it that much different, or this is specialized for this?
Oh, no, we treat, we're an accredited sleep center that treats all sleep disorders. So some sleep disorders will arise out of breathing disorders. Some arise out of neuromuscular disorders. And we see all of that as well. A lot of this lately, though, is behavioral disorders, where patients have had difficulty initiating sleep, falling asleep. They have a lot on their minds because of the pandemic. And a lot of times they just don't have the tools to deal with that. And what we do is we bring them in and they meet with our board certified sleep specialist physicians. Also, because of the pandemic, we also have available televisits as well. So patients don't actually have to come into the office to get treated. And then they can have a consult with the physician and then follow up, and we'll find the best way to help them.
No, incredible. So talking about sleep disorder or sleep apnea, I happen to be one of those. It's sleep apnea. Years back, I was diagnosed with it, but of course they gave me a CPAP machine. Mm-hmm. I found it very difficult. Mm-hmm. So I used it for a while. It was too difficult or uncomfortable. And then, like probably most, I don't know about most, but many of your patients might say, oh, forget this. I'd rather sleep apnea than deal with this machine. What are the new technologies that may be being used right now that might be different than a regular CPAP machine?
What you're saying, Alan, is things we see all the time from patients where, oh, I've tried CPAP, it's loud, it's noisy, the interface is huge and I just can't do it. I don't want to do it. We have lots of alternatives to that as well. And also the interfaces have become very, very streamlined to where it's nothing bigger than an oxygen cannula you've seen before that which some patients wear. So it doesn't necessarily mean this big, bulky, cumbersome thing that's hard to get used to. One of the things we do here is a lot of acclimation patients to PAP therapy, to that, and we try a lot of different interfaces to find them something that they're comfortable with. Also, there's also alternatives to that as well, such as dental devices that advance your jaw slightly and open up your airway and treat sleep apnea that way, as well as some implantable devices. And we here look at all the different treatments for that and then find the best one for the patient.
That's great. I don't want to focus only on this, but you brought up the dental one.
Mm-hmm.
Because my wife has it also, so we searched far and wide. There was only one place we found in Central Jersey that did that. I guess we never found you. Now knocking on your door, Michael.
This is what we do. And one of the things we do is we connect the patients to the right therapists and the right doctors that are specialists in providing this. We actually work with a group of dental sleep specialists that not only make this device, but will also bill the patient's medical insurance for a dental device. So these devices can be upwards to a couple $1,000s. So you definitely, if you have medical insurance, want to use your medical insurance for that.
Yeah, well, the problem was this dentist, and then when COVID happened, he did it. Both of us seemed to be successful. I mean, it's a little bit like Jaws. You know, my wife was screwed in and mine is, just in. We got used to it. And then at the beginning of COVID, he decided to retire. He was retiring anyway. He was the only guy, and then he recommended us somebody else that was hard to get to. It's an hour drive.
Yeah.
So
we have dental sleep specialists right in Bergen County, right in Fair Lawn that do this, and we can refer patients over locally. And we also do studies to make sure that the device works as well. And if it needs adjustment, we'll adjust it at night while the patient sleeps. We have the ability to do that as well.
Just to finish off on that, the problem was, I don't mean to only be saying it about myself, but I'm sure other people, the insurance, I have good insurance. They paid for it. Of course, there was a copay, fine. And then months down the line, it cracked.
Yep.
They don't want to fix it, the insurance, because they say we only could do it every 3 years. So I'm arguing with the insurance company saying, but wait a second, I'm not going to wait another year and a half to have the aperture fixed. And they don't want to copay for anything right now. So I'm in that dilemma. So why would it be 3 years? It's a medical condition.
Absolutely. You're completely right. And what you're talking about is comprehensive follow-up. So what we do here is we see you every 6 to 12 months for follow-up with the sleep specialist. And if we see that you have a device that's broken like that, we will write the letter to the insurance company and get the approval and authorization. A lot of times the barrier to care for patients is not having the information that they need and having an advocate like us to do that for you. So we kind of complete your care that way and make sure that your sleep care is, for lack of a better word, comprehensive. So
that's terrific. Thank you very much. I'll be calling you right after the interview.
We're here for you.
Thank you. So Michael mentioned COVID and how for sleep, sleep disorders and all that, it really affected. Can Melissa or Terry, could you give us a little bit about how COVID might have affected a lot of the patients? Do you see more people with heart conditions, psychiatric conditions, or whatever it might be because of COVID's been so prevalent?
Yes, patients are different. They're more agitated. We're very careful about how we handled how we're handling the pandemic as far as disinfecting and so on. But it changes the flow in the office because of all the barriers to making sure everything's disinfected. Everyone has masks. And we do, as Mike mentioned, we instituted telemedicine for our patients. We did a lot of telemedicine early on. We instituted it and got it up and running very, very quickly. We're doing less of it now. The patients really do want to come in, and we are seeing more, but we were screening patients and not seeing the sick patients. We had a couple of offices. We have one in Bloomingdale that saw sick patients throughout the pandemic and one in Patterson. Other than that, we're beginning to bring them in. It was very hard to find PPE and get all of that supplies, but we did it. And we've gotten through it. But yeah, patients are very wary, very concerned, as is the staff, and we're all working very hard to be sure we are vaccinated so that we are all safe.
Great. Do you do vaccinations at the facility?
We do vaccinations at the Englewood Center over in Cliffside Park. We are going to be we've applied for being a site, a place to give vaccinations, and that would be the Johnson & Johnson because of storage. And we're working on getting that into some of our offices, yes.
But you mentioned Johnson & Johnson. I went to Valley Hospital, and all they had, first of all, it's a little freaky walking in. You're walking in, everyone's in the mat lining around. I mean, it's definitely like, a science fiction movie. When you're going through there, they gave me the Johnson & Johnson. The next day, they canceled Johnson & Johnson. I said,
yeah, it was a temporary, they had to investigate a little further some of those cases. But I think, now they're doing it again, and that's the storage of the Pfizer is very tough because it's very low, way deep freeze, which is tough for the offices. The hospitals can do that, but we will probably be getting it into the offices. We're working very hard to make that happen.
I mean, I like the Johnson & Johnson because it was a one-shot vaccination. Is
Right.
that as effective as the other ones that are a two-shot vaccination?
I think that the jury is out, but I think the numbers are a little lower for the Johnson & Johnson, but still much higher for, say, than your flu vaccine every year. So it's effective. It's effective enough. I think it's at 86%.
Okay. And another thing on that, are you finding most people getting vaccinated as opposed to, I know a lot of people weary. My wife is very weary because, I'll make it short, but years ago, she had a very bad reaction to a flu shot. They had to rush her to the hospital. So her whole arms froze up, and then they gave her an antidote shot, and that was just as bad. So she doesn't want to go near the shot, where I took it. And I'm saying, but, so are you finding that people are, going both ways, or most people are getting vaccinated?
We find that those who wanted to get vaccinated, it was so hard to get people in initially. The doses we were very much, they were given out very, what's the word I want? We didn't have a lot of doses, so we had to parse them out for the patients. They're all vaccinated now. The people who really wanted it and called us and got on lists for us, they're vaccinated. We're finding the demand is much less now. We get patients every day who do want it, and we do schedule it, but it is lower. And so I think those have been vaccinated are the ones who want to do it. The others, I think, need a little bit more time to decide that that's something that they want to do.
Well, do you think with the herd immunity, if so many people are getting the vaccination, those that did not, in a way, are not going to catch it as quickly anyway, because it's not being spread as widely?
I would say probably yes. Certainly it's better than it was. Yes, I don't know if we're going to get to herd immunity, but I think, yes, your chances are less now than they were then. I think it's still a lot that we don't know.
And I mean, obviously, this vaccine came about so fast, in record time. Do you feel that it went through all the precautions and the studies was enough, to really make it safe?
Alan, I probably shouldn't give my opinion because I'm not a clinical person and I'm not a scientist. I'm an administrator. I know there's a lot of different opinions on that. I personally got the vaccine, and I'm happy I did. That's probably as
We'll
much
leave it
as
there.
I should say.
Right. I mean, I guess that would come from a specialist.
Yeah, yeah.
That's terrific. It has been wonderful meeting all three of you. Would you like to give us a little closing statement on your facility, the medical group? Sounds like a wonderful place. Like I say, I am in that building also. I do come there for my treatment. How about a closing statement from each of you about, where we're at and what you're doing there, if you don't mind.
Mike, you want to go first?
Sure, absolutely. So the Comprehensive Sleep Center is here in the Broadway Medical Building, and we're available for any sleep disorders you have, no matter what they are. Just give us a call. We'll set you up with an appointment, and we'll get you taken care of.
Terrific.
Alyssa, go ahead.
Well, HVA Medical Group is a wonderful local group, community doctors with the greatest educations, and we're accessible to everyone. And we really hope that this opportunity that you've been given us will help educate people and let them know that it's, we're here in the community and we want to take care of them.
Terrific. And Terry?
Alan, I thank you. I really thank you. This has been a great opportunity. HVA Medical Group, I feel incredibly privileged to be with HVA Medical Group. Dr. Bakina is a visionary and cares so much about patients. And just call us. I'll give you our number. Can I give our number?
You certainly can.
201-475-5050. We have many, many, many numbers, but that's the one you can call and say, I saw you on the Chamber of Commerce. And I would love to hear about that. And my name is Terry Ergo. If you ever want to talk to me, just give a call.
That's terrific. Let me just ask you that one last question on the Fair Lawn Chamber. So you are members, obviously, of the Fair Lawn Chamber.
Yes.
And what do you feel about the chamber? Has it introduced you to more people, the networking, etc.? How long?
We're very excited to be part of this community. And yes, when we built our first building, the Highway Movie Theater, we won an award from the chamber. They had sort of a celebration that we had contributed. And part of what we want to do here is contribute to the community. And we're very devoted to Fair Lawn. We really are. And it's important to us to be part of the services that we can give to the community, to the patients.
That's
and the general public. Yeah.
I do remember the Highway Theater. I used to go there when I first moved to Fair Lawn. Sorry it left, but like all businesses, the bigger companies took over, the smaller ones went down, and they're having a tough time. But by putting this facility in there, it does uplift our community and give these wonderful services from you guys. So
thank you.
So I like to thank you both again. I like to thank Melissa Wolf, who is the marketing specialist. I like to thank Michael Leahy, who's the Sleep Center Clinical Director, and of course, Terry Ergo, who's the Senior Director of the HVA Medical Group. Thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Alan Cohen. This has been the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight, spotlighting the HVA Medical Group right here in Fair Lawn on Broadway. It's my pleasure, and please, everyone, still be safe. Thank you for the opportunity.